Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking on something really quite poignant, actually. We're looking into the life and legacy of a Hollywood icon, Michael Madsen. We'll be sort of unpacking insights from a source called Michael Madsen, Hollywood Rebel's Tragic Fall. It really tries to get behind that tough guy image.
Yeah, it's a compelling piece because that image was so strong, wasn't it? Our goal here is to really dig past the famous roles.
The ones everyone knows.
Exactly, and try to understand the man, the struggles he was facing and what his story might tell us about, well, the hidden side of fame.
Yeah, kind of the shortcut to understanding a story that's, frankly, pretty surprising and sad. So, okay, let's unpack it. Michael Madsen, I mean, you couldn't miss him in the 90s and 2000s, right? Those really sharp, intense roles. Reservoir Dogs, obviously. Kill Bill. Donnie Brasco, he was the Hollywood tough guy on screen, no question. But behind the curtain, a very different picture.
And that's what's so fascinating, isn't it? How that public persona, the one people loved, it can just completely mask a reality that's much more painful. So this deep dive, it really explores that tragic, sort of quiet unraveling of his life, which, as the source points out, became horribly clear when the news broke in 2025.
Yeah, that news, 2025, it sent shockwaves, didn't it? Michael Madsen found unresponsive at home, and immediately all these questions started flying. Was it an accident? An overdose? Was he, battling mental health stuff? Had the industry pressure, the personal tragedy, had it all just broken him?
Well, the sources we looked at, they suggest pretty strongly that, yes, he was really struggling. Deep depression in those final years.
Yeah.
And there was one specific, incredibly painful event mentioned, his son's tragic suicide. That, according to the sources, it shattered him deeply.
Oh, man. And he spoke about it himself, didn't he? Our source brings up that quote from an interview where he just says, "I'm broken inside and I don't know how to fix it."
Oh.
Wow. It's so raw. It cuts right through the Hollywood stuff.
It really does. And it speaks volumes about maybe a sense of isolation. The sources hint that the tough guy image itself might have made it harder to reach out maybe, or for others to see the pain. It's that paradox, isn't it? The thing that made him famous might have also trapped him.
That makes a terrible kind of sense. And his career, it had those incredible highs.
Yeah.
Especially with Quentin Tarantino, those roles were unforgettable. Terrifying sometimes, but unforgettable.
Huge impact, yeah. But then, over time, opportunities started to shrink. The industry changed, as the sources note. The rise of the big franchises. Fewer of those character-driven indie films where he really shone.
Right, the kind of gritty roles he was perfect for.
Exactly. So fewer slots for an actor like him. That adds pressure. And then you hear about, well, reports of substance abuse started cropping up too, often linked in time with that awful personal loss, which seemed to really change him. And what's really poignant is he didn't seem to broadcast that pain publicly, which I guess made his death even more of a shock to people.
So the ground was shifting under him professionally, on top of everything else personally. That's rough. And audiences really connected with him beyond just the roles. He wasn't just an actor. He felt like a symbol of something, like raw masculinity, but with soul. Our sources talk about his eyes, that they held a kind of truth you don't always see in Hollywood.
Yeah, that truth in his eyes. It feels almost like a tragic foreshadowing now, looking back. And the sources really emphasize how that persona, the tough guy, it might have ironically deepened his isolation, like a wall between the image and the man who was hurting.
It makes you think. This story, it feels bigger than just one actor, doesn't it? Like you said, it touches on these really crucial things. Mental health, obviously, the insane pressures of Hollywood, and just feeling alone, which can hit anyone.
Absolutely. It's a powerful story about that, about how pain can hide behind fame. It really pushes us to think about our heroes, not just as characters on a screen, but as actual people with complicated lives, real struggles.
Yeah.
How well do we really see them?
Especially with those pressures we talked about. Yeah, it does. It makes you wonder. What stands out to you listening to this? What does it make you think about the hidden lives, maybe even of people you know?
And stepping back, Madsen's life, his death.
Yeah.
It raises that big question, doesn't it? How good are we really at seeing and supporting people we admire? Especially when they're fighting these private battles, often right out there in the spotlight. It asks for more empathy, maybe.
It's a powerful reminder, definitely. Behind every cool performance, every memorable character, there's a person. He gave us some absolutely unforgettable characters on screen. But it sounds like, yeah, he kind of lost himself in a fight most of us never saw.
Michael Madsen.
Yeah.
The legend, the rebel.
A man.
Yeah, a complex legacy.
And that wraps up our deep dive into the compelling And yes, tragic story of Michael Madsen. We hope it's given you maybe a new perspective, something to think about. Regarding fame, its pressures, and the quiet struggles many people face, sometimes right in front of us.